statutes are not laws, right? They're not enforceable by anyone, not the police, not anyone. That's why everybody who challenges these illegal and unlawful restrictions in court, right, wins the case in court, right? We are free people in a free country, all right? We are part of our constitutional rights in this country, which is constitutional law, which is the law of the land in this country. We are allowed to be out and about as and when we feel like it, right? There's no evidence whatsoever that this COVID-19 exists. The government have clearly said it's never been isolated. They don't know how it exists. Medical boards up and down the country have also turned around and said, under freedom of information request, there is no evidence of this so-called virus existing. We do not need a reason of excuse to be out. We are free people in a free country. Government guidelines, government wishes are not law. They're not law. You as police us by our consent, and you're only allowed by law to challenge people for criminal offences and committing criminal offences. None of these guidelines or these acts and statutes are committing criminal offences. We don't have to talk to you. We don't have to speak to you. Unless we committed a crime or you expect us to committing an actual crime, you have no business talking to us, and you're not legally allowed to challenge us in the street. It's as simple as that. We don't need to excuse to be out, but a lot of people are out having exercise, and we're entitled to have as much exercise as we want in the free country, the free world, breathing fresh air. And if you do try and arrest me or arrest anyone in this party as well, we all stand under common law, right? And not only will we prosecute you in court under your personal liability for false arrest and harassment, right, personally, and this policeman if he gets involved as well, we'll also prosecute the police force, the South Yorkshire Police Force. All right, because by law, there's no law that says we cannot be out where we want, however many times we want to be out, and that's the law. You are not allowed to enforce anything other than criminal offences, crimes, suspected crimes. Nobody here is committing any crime.
Are you shouting at me?
I'm not shouting it, I'm just saying.
You clearly are.
No, I'm not shouting it. Well, I'm recording it, I'm not shouting it.
You are clearly shouting.
No, I'm not, I'm just explaining. I'm just explaining. Are you standing under your office of police that you took some police officers today?
Are you going to let me talk?
Yeah, I'll let you talk, yeah.
Let me talk.
Yeah.
Just explain to me again why you're carrying shouting at me.
I'm not shouting at you.
You did?
Well, actually, I actually talk loud because I'm deaf in one ear.
Right. Can I just ask you, what did I say at the very beginning?
What?
What did I say at the very beginning?
I can't remember what you said at the very beginning.
Because you just came across shouting at me.
I didn't come across shouting at you.
All I said was, I take it that you've got reasonable excuse.
We don't need a reasonable excuse. We do not need a reasonable excuse to be out in a free country.
That is all I said.
We do not need a reasonable excuse to be out in this country. Government guidelines, wishes are not law.
Right. So under the current coronavirus regulations, you'll understand that you do need
they're not law.
Excuse
they're not
at
law.
the moment, because we are currently in a lockdown, so you'll understand.
They're not law.
Yeah.
They're not law.
Right.
And they will be challenged in court, and we will win in court.
Listen.
I don't need to listen.
I'm not here to argue with you.
I don't have to speak to you as a police. I'm not committing a crime. Right, okay, right. Am I under arrest?
You came and shouted.
Am I under arrest?
I didn't even speak to
you. Do you suspect me? Do you suspect me of committing a crime?
I do at the moment.
What a crime? What crime?
I suspect you.
What crime?
To be breaching the lockdown and the current regulations.
The lockdown rules are not a crime. It's not. Guidelines are not law. If you're standing here under your office as a police officer today, you'll know you're not allowed to harass people in the street.
You understand about Acts of Parliament, don't you? So you understand that...
Acts and statutes aren't law, they need the consent of the people.
That it's an Act of Parliament.
Acts and statutes need the consent of the people.
Listen, I am not arguing with you.
Well, you are.
I'm not arguing
you are.
with you.
Right, if you're standing under oath as a police officer, you're not allowed to harass us in the street, so kind of leave us alone. No, you're not.
I'm going to tell you, please get this on camera.
I'm getting on camera.
Because everybody else, all I've done is just came and said, you understand...
You're illegally harassing people in the street.
Right. Again, you came and shouted...
You're illegally harassing people in the street, trying to enforce guidelines and wishes of the government, which are not law.
What will happen is, obviously, you clearly are in breach of the guidelines.
No, we're not.
So, and I have actually got a power to disperse you and tell you to go home.
And we'll challenge you in court.
And if you don't go home, then you may be in breach.
Right, well, we'll challenge you in court.
So
we'll challenge you in court.
Since I'm speaking to you, right, I am going to tell you and I'm going to give you a direction to leave.
No, right? I'm not leaving. I'm a free person because I do not have to leave. And you have no authority to remove me from the street. No, you don't. No, you don't.
And I also have an authority to remove you and take you home.
No, you don't.
Under that current power.
No, you don't.
Well, I'll go away and you read it. And
I don't need to read it. Government guidelines are not law.
When I come back, I will consider what we do next.
Right. Are you threatening me? Are you threatening me in the street? Are you threatening me in the street? Right. Listen, we are not committing any crime.
In a second, if you keep threatening me...
I'm not threatening you. Well, you're threatening me. You're threatening me.
You're the one who's shouting.
You're in my space. Will you get 2 minutes away from me, please? Thank you.
You said you didn't believe in it.
Well, it's your violating guidelines. Step away from me.
Right.
Guidelines, wishes are not law.
I'm specifically directing you to go home.
No, we won't. No, well, we're not going.
All these people who seem to make it illegal.
No, no, you're illegally harassing people in the street.
I'm not.
You have no authority to do that. You're there to prevent crime. There's no crime being committed. Guidelines, acts and statutes are not law. Acts and statutes require the consent of the people. That's the simple fact of the law.
What I actually said was, if you've got reasonable excuses to be out, fair enough. We believe that you haven't because we understand why you're here. We've come to just speak to you about the matter. We're going to go away.
You're illegally harassing people in the street.
Clearly you want to be directed.
I'll challenge you in court. I'll challenge you in court, and I'll challenge you under personal liability as well. And you'll be sued. You'll be sued. Don't care. I know the law.
You're in a lockdown.
I know the law. Guidelines are not law. They're not law.
In breach of the current lockdown.
It's not law.
So I'm telling you, really, you ought to not go.
No, it's not law.
Right.
It's not law.
There are people on today to come and deal with this.
It's not law. Well, that's fine.
So-
If you arrest anybody, we'll challenge it in court and we'll win. And then you'll lose your job. You'll lose your job for abusing your police powers, which you haven't got. Guidelines, acts and statutes, government wishes are not law. Ex-Lord Justice Chief Jonathan Sumption has turned around and said this. Everyone who challenges these guidelines in court wins. You are illegally harassing people in a free country. That's the end of the story. Right.
So you've got it recorded.
I've got it all recorded. You've not got the authority to direct anybody to go home. We're not committing a crime. We're not committing any crime. We're not committing any crime. We all stand under common law. And your police was by our consent.
I take it you've read about common law as well.
Yeah, I know all about common law, mate. Yeah, I do. I know the law, which you don't. You clearly don't know the law.
Again, just while I go away, can you make sure you read that?
I don't need to read anything. I know the law. I know that government guidelines aren't law.
Come back and deal with you for the offence.
Are you threatening me? You're threatening to deal with for offence of what? I'm not committing a criminal offence.
I'm not threatening to do.
You're threatening to deal with me for an offence. I am not committing an offence. You haven't got the authority to direct people to go home.
How am I supposed to talk to you if you keep shouting at me?
I'm not shouting at you.
Every time I speak, you speak
I'm not shouting at you. Listen, this is being recorded. I'm not shouting at anybody. I've already told them deaf in one ear. That's why I talk loud. Listen, I'm not arguing. Listen, I'm not arguing with you. You're no authority over us, right? Your police are by our consent, right? And you police at this moment in time are breaking the law by illegally, unlawfully harassing people who are legally entitled to walk down and say our constitutional rights in this country, which is the law of this country, under the Magna Carta as well. We can do what we want when we want. We are not prisoners who've committed crimes who are in jail. We are free people in a free country. Government guidelines are not law. They're not law.
Can I just say one more thing before
you can say what you want, because it doesn't matter to me, because you're acting illegally and lawfully harassing us in the street.
It's really difficult for you to understand.
I don't need to understand to know the law.
Yeah, but it's really difficult to understand if you don't listen to me, because you keep talking over me.
I know the law, so I don't need to listen to you. I don't have to talk to you by law.
Under the current
I can turn around and walk away from you without talking to you.
Doing it again. You're talking over me.
No, I'm explaining why I don't have to talk to you.
Just make sure that you understand what I'm telling you.
So
that when we come back,
you have no authority to tell me anything.
If we come back and deal with this, I want to make sure that you understand what I've told you.
You're trying to enforce illegal and lawful guidelines that aren't law?
I'm directing you to leave.
You've no authority to direct us to leave. We're not committing any crime.
I'm directing you to leave.
No, we're not committing any crime.
If you refuse to leave, then you make
we are not committing any crime. No, we're not. No, we're not.
What I'm trying to explain to you, while you keep shouting over me, is I'm giving you an option to go. If you don't go, then that is...
No, you're trying to threaten us with laws that don't exist. We are not committing, any of us here, nobody here is committing a criminal offence. That's the law. You are only entitled to arrest people for committing criminal offences, otherwise you're in breach of your police authority. Your police are by our consent. You have no authority of any living man or woman here. You're the same as us, you're just in a uniform. And we are doing what we are entitled to do, breathe fresh air, do our exercise, which the guidelines say we can do. You have no authority to tell us where we can and do our exercise.
You seem to be doing an exercise.
Yes, we are. We're walking around. It's nothing to do with how we do our exercise. It's exercise that's allowed by law. At the end of the day, government guidelines aren't law. And you're illegally harassing people. And you don't think you can threaten me and scare me, because you don't scare me, because I know the law. Your threats are on here. Your threats are on here.
Let me explain something.
Your threats are on here. Right, I'm going to end this conversation. I don't have to talk to you. I don't have to talk to you.
I have directed you to leave.
You have no authority to direct us. You have no authority to direct us to leave.
I am.
No, you haven't. The guidelines are not law.
Carry on shouting.
Government guidelines aren't law.
Carry on shouting at me, and I'll deal with you a different offence.
No, so you're threatening me again, are you? I've already told you I'm deaf in one ear and I talk loud. I'm not shouting at you. This is recorded. Right. You're breaking the law. Now leave us alone. Leave us alone, or we will prosecute you in a court of law. We'll prosecute you in law. No, you're abusing your authority. You have no authority to challenge anyone in the street. No, I'm not. You have no authority to challenge us in the street. You have no authority to challenge us in the street. You have no authority to challenge anybody in the street. I'm just recording you because I'm getting your face and your number as well.
You said you don't want to talk to me. So
as he says, where's your number? Is he not legally allowed to defend his number? I'm just getting your numbers for the video. Like I say, if you come back and you do try and arrest us, we'll prosecute you in court for illegal and lawful arrest. Because government guidelines aren't law. And you don't have the authority to tell anyone to do anything.
I'll try and Oh, again, we just came to talk to you. We know why you're here. You've got reasonable excuses to get exercise, that's fair enough. We believe that you're here. You're not having any excuse. I would actually ask you all to leave. Direct you to go home. If you don't, we may have to come back and deal with you. So, please make sure it's on camera.
It is on camera, yeah.
But I've told everybody who has stood here, you are clearly here when you shouldn't be. You want to go do some exercise, please feel free.
There's no law that says we can't be here.
Keep shouting at us.
There's no law that says we can't be here. We are entitled to be where we want.
You're on the 670.
Yeah, so are you. You're recorded, mate.